I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Big story coming out of CAF headquarters. Oh my God. So 58 days, 59 days after the final of the African Nations Cup 2025, where we saw some chaotic scenes, Senegal in the end beating Morocco to win the cup. The board at CAF have decided to award Morocco the trophy, and they are now official winners of CAF African Nations Cup 2025. They have been crowned the champions from today on, the 17th of March. Today is the day the African Nations Cup for the women should have started in Morocco, but they pulled out. But I'm going to come back to that in a second. But yes, we are in the most crazy territory right now. Crazy stuff going on. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I don't know whether to be embarrassed, whether to be shocked. But I shouldn't be, because it's CAF. And to be honest, I forgot about that whole debacle, but I should have been expecting something insane. Personally, I thought that fining Morocco, all the people who were involved, including Senegal, was the end of it. I moved on, because for me, I was like, okay, fair dues. It was, it was unseemly, but people have been fined. It shouldn't happen again. But taking the trophy away from Senegal, especially when we know that they won it fair and square, in my opinion, in the end, despite all the machinations of the officials through the tournament, trying to make sure that Morocco won it, I think football won that night, because there was nobody, unless you were a complete sociopath, who would have supported Morocco. They were atrocious. The conduct of the organizers, of the staff in the stadium. Did you see how they treated Morocco? They had no security. I mean, how they treated Senegal. They had no security coming to the stadium, left out in the wild. They should have had a punishment for that, but they were let off. And now CAF have decided to award them the penalty. Let me read out the statement that has been doing the rounds. Unbelievable. Absolutely crazy, crazy stuff. Here we go. So it reads, the CAF Appeal Board decided that in application of Article 84 of the regulations of CAF, African Cup of Nations, AFCON, the Senegal national team is declared to have forfeited the final match of the Nations Cup Morocco 2025, with the result of the match being recorded as 3-0 in favor of Federation Royale, for Morocco. The CAF Appeal Board decided today that in application of this regulation, Article 84, the Senegal national team is declared to have forfeited the final, with the result being 3-0, like I said before. On the appeal by Morocco regarding the application of Article 82 and 84, this is Morocco's application. Morocco applied to CAF to get this trophy. To get this match, Senegal forfeited. Basically, they asked for CAF to nullify this tournament. CAF did not just decide to do it. Morocco basically filled in some forms to get this trophy. What is wrong with these guys? They're absolutely stupid, honestly. No offense. Actually, a lot of offense. They're dumb as... Anyway, they're not dumb. So CAF, after doing that, sent in the forms. They said the appeal body, the appeal lodged by Morocco is declared admissible in form, and the appeal is upheld. The CAF disciplinary board decision is set aside. So the first decision has been set aside. All those fines of £100,000 for the coach, the players, everyone else, they've set that aside and said, you know what, we're going to just take the trophy off Senegal and give it to Morocco. What a bunch of, honestly, it's mind-blowing, mind-blowing. The appeal board further finds that the conduct of the Senegal team falls within the scope of Article 82 and 84 of the regulations of the African Nations Cup. The protest lodged by Morocco is upheld. It is declared that the Senegalese Federation, through the conduct of its team, infringed the Article 82 of the African Nations CAF. In application of Article 84 of the regulations, the Senegal team is declared to have forfeited the match, with the result recorded as 3-0 in favor of Morocco. All other motions or prayers for relief are dismissed. The appeal lodged in respect of Ismail Saibari, player number 11 of Morocco team, is partially upheld. I don't remember what that was. It's probably something to do with the towels. The CAF Appeal Board confirms the finding that Mr. Saibari committed misconduct in violation of 83 and Article 82 and Article 83(1) of the CAF Disciplinary Code. The sanction imposed of Mr. Saibari, player 11 of Morocco national team, is amended to a suspension of 2 games. CAF matches, that is, of which 1 match is suspended. So only one, honestly, the fine of £100,000 imposed on Saibari is set aside. The appeal lodged in respect of the ball boys incident is partially upheld. The CAF Appeal Board confirms that the finding that the Federation of Morocco is responsible for the conduct of the ball boys during the aforementioned match. The fine imposed on the Federation of Morocco in respect of the ball boys incidents is reduced to $50,000. Oh, sorry, I said pounds there. That one, yeah. The appeal lodged in respect of the interference around VAR review is dismissed. The fine of $100,000 imposed on the Moroccan FA in respect of the interference around VAR area is confirmed. The appeal lodged in respect of the laser incident is partially upheld, which is shocking because Morocco fans were using those lasers mercilessly even on Zambia. They played Zambia and they were using lasers. One of the weakest teams in the tournament. We are dealing with a wicked country and football team in the whole of Africa. These are now our number 1 enemies in African football. They have got to go. Honestly, we should not tolerate Morocco because this smacks of corruption and basically interference in our football. This is absolute nonsense. Let's continue. The appeal lodged in respect of the laser incident is partially upheld. The fine imposed on the Federation of Morocco in respect of the laser incident is reduced to $10,000. All other motions or prayers of relief are dismissed. Oh, HMG. Oh my God. I mean, I literally... Unbelievable. This is the most disgraceful thing I have ever read in my life. The most disgraceful thing I have ever read. And I have got some screenshots of people's comments under the ESPN's posts. This Olaye says, this is the biggest joke ever. No wonder the disrespect to our continent is huge. Why was this not called on the pitch, where the referee is not well trained enough to take such actions on the spot? Basically, this cannot be upheld because the referee and everyone who was managing that game, including the fans of Morocco, continued playing that game. The final whistle went. We went into extra time. We played the extra time where that winner came in from Ismail Sarr, one of the Sarrs anyway, whoever scored that goal, the winner. This is complete and utter BS, and I agree with Olaye. So, and this user says, Shadrinio says, Senegal wins on the field but loses in the boardroom. That's a story of African soccer summed up in a single decision. Well, that is not the story of African soccer. I can actually defend African soccer for it. But this smacks of proper corruption, proper basically lack of professionalism in our leadership at CAF. They are a disgrace. Basically, they're in bed with the Moroccans. They engineered this tournament for Morocco. You should have seen, guys, I told you when I was watching, if you go back to my commentary, when we played Morocco, I said we should have lost that game to Morocco, but the engineering from the referee to make sure even the most stupidest 50-50s, we should have gone to Zambia, we should have been left to play. They were not going to risk Morocco not winning that match. We were losing 2-0 when Morocco were playing Zambia off the park. But the referees were under instructions. And to be honest, the only thing that can save this is an expose by the refs. And I've got a feeling, hopefully, this is not the end of the story. This is not going to be the end of the story, because we are honestly, when you get to a point where you just need to burn the tournament, burn it all down, this is ridiculous. This is humiliating, right? This other user, thought leader, says, this is absolutely incredible. I'm trying to understand what is happening here. Does this mean that Senegal have now been stripped of their trophy? Yes, sir, it does. And he thinks it's the most interesting development. Well, I don't. Basically, Ben Jacobs, somebody posted saying, although AFCON rules state walking off the field or refusing to play for a prolonged period is grounds for elimination, the decision to strip Senegal of the African title 2 months after their trophy lift is a bad look for CAF. 100%. It is very unnecessary, because we all forgot. We all forgot about that debacle around the circumstances. And that is, I think, why they've done 2 months. Because we were accusing the officiate. It was the worst officiating. Last AFCON, the officiating was brilliant at the African Nations Cup. This time around, it was everyone suffered at the hands of Morocco and the officials and CAF. Anyway, he continues to say it should be within the power of the officials in real time to qualify a team, but it's a hollow victory for Morocco to appeal and win in this manner weeks after the trophy lift. Morocco accepted Senegal's return from their 10-minute walk-off, gladly resumed play and took their penalty. Missed it, losing the game, then appealing to gain the trophy doesn't sit right. And it doesn't. It is pathetic, and you are bad losers. You are terrible, pathetic, bad losers, and to be honest, you're a disgrace to African football. I do not even know who do you think you are, Morocco, that you can appeal such a thing, you can influence, and you cancelled WAFCON. Basically, let me tell you the reason that CAF have come to this decision. It's got nothing to do with fairness or Article 82 or Article 83. Those are nonsense statutes that would not hold water if it was anyone else other than Morocco in this instance. Basically, they deal with CAF and Morocco. They were supposed to hold, I think, the next 2 WAFCONs, which, by the way, they pulled out of. WAFCON should be starting. What's today? It should have been starting on the 17th of March, I'm sure. Today is the 17th of March. WAFCON hasn't started because they pulled out, and CAF have not been able to arrange another venue. And this is why CAF, they are basically in a bind. They put all their eggs in that Morocco basket. They agreed with Morocco that we're going to hand you this trophy by hook or by crook, and that did not work out. Because the gods said, hell no, 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 no. The gods were like, not on my watch. But the good thing is nobody in Africa is going to respect Morocco. Basically, you're going to the African Nations Cup and there's not even one African country who's going to support you and your filthy ways. How dare you? How disgraceful. How embarrassing. CAF, you are so embarrassing, you in Morocco's playbook. I'm telling you, this is not on, honestly. 2 months later, 2 months later, I need to take a breath. I've just been watching Arsenal win a game today, and I'm not even thinking of them because I'm like, my tournament, the best tournament in the world to me is the African Nations Cup. And I absolutely hate the idea that there's some idiot Africans out there who are trying to destroy it by doing crazy, foolish things like this. But anyway, I am hoping, I'm not even hoping, I know very few Africans or people in the world are going to accept this. That game should have been forfeited on that night by the referee. The referee made the decision, the on-field decision will always prevail. The referee should have followed that playbook. Someone should have handed him the Article 32 and 83 on that night. And he should have said, oh, actually, there's an article here. You've gone off the field for more than 5 minutes and you have forfeited the match. It's 3-0 to Morocco. That is what should have happened. But because you did not do that. So now, Senegal are now going to have to appeal to FIFA. They'll have to go to some high court somewhere, to some, I don't even know what sporting bodies are there for appeal. And this case is going to continue. And I'm hoping that whatever backdoor deals happened before this tournament are going to be exposed, because anybody who watched any of those Morocco games at the African Nations Cup 2025 knows that there were some backdoor deals that happened to make sure that Morocco won that tournament. It was easy. I saw it in the Zambian game. I saw it in the Mali game. Is it Mali? Yeah. I saw it in the Nigeria game. Everybody was crying because the decisions were not authentic decisions. They were forced decisions. And it is absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. CAF, I know you are too arrogant to see where you've taken a wrong move. But the on-field decision should have been maintained. The fines you gave out should have been maintained. That would have been the best solution. Now, handing anyway, it doesn't work. It's nonsense. Guys, yeah. Whoa. CAF, disgraceful. What are they playing at? What are they playing at? I don't even know what to say. Right. Anyway, I'm probably going to have to talk about this again tomorrow, but they will know the biggest reason this has happened is because they've got a deal with Morocco to host certain tournaments. You saw how great their facilities were at the World Cup, at the African Nations Cup. Fantastic services. Basically the infrastructure, the pitches, everything looked good. The fans were shite. They were absolutely pathetic. The fans even their own team, they just didn't. Anyway, poor fan turnout for most of the games, but the facilities were good, and CAF put all their eggs in that Morocco basket, and now they're trying to keep them sweet to get it back on. But yeah, let's see how they do it when they do that, and then none of the African nations go and play at those tournaments, because no one's going back to Morocco to go and get shafted like that again. Hell no. No, I wouldn't want to play Morocco anyway. People should just abscond, just refuse to play them. You know, since you like playing football in the boardroom, Morocco, you go and get all those guys in your boardroom and play on. Maybe start table tennis or something, because you are not worthy. You're not worthy to be playing in the African Nations Cup. We do not want to see you playing in the African Nations Cup. You are disgraceful. This appeal to get that tournament overturned is nothing but an embarrassment to African football. It's an embarrassment to world football. At the end of the day, you had an opportunity in that game to pull it back, and you didn't. You didn't, because you were relying on, and you were relying on dodgy referees, on ball boys who are basically playing games and assaulting players, or the opposition players. That's what you were relying on, and you failed. It's just a shame you've got no dignity, actually. Zero dignity. Morocco, you have absolutely embarrassed yourselves here. CAF, even worse. I can't believe you thought this would work. Anyway, congratulations to Morocco for being handed a boardroom trophy for African 2025. And congratulations, Senegal, for winning a football tournament on the pitch. You are the rightful winners of African Nations Cup 2025, and no boardroom decision will ever change that. Thank you, guys. My goodness me. Bloody hell.